Alright, so general players default graphic settings. Alright, these general things you have to just read them on your own, right? Basically, they removed the network spikes indicator. I don't know why they did that. I guess that it didn't work as intended, so they just removed it. Uh, Alright, so new battleground, Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's a 3-lane battleground. You basically collect gems from some spider minions and the enemy heroes, and you use these gems to turn them into the Spider Queen's altars. When these altars have enough gems, I suppose, some wave rivers will descend and travel down its lane to seize the opposing team on 3 fronts. Each team can summon wave rivers by taking in 50 gems. The number of required gems will increase by 5 for each subsequent wave. So basically, I think this is gonna work like Blackheart's Bay. You just this time you don't collect coins, you collect gems, but the theory is the same. It's probably Blackheart's Bay plus Haunted Mines. You turn in and you get something to seeds. So yeah, gems collected by a player will be dropped upon death. Yeah, so that's Blackheart Bay version 2.0 right there. I like the concept of this map. I just wanna see if it's balanced. I don't want this to be a Blackheart's Bay version 2.0. Alright, let's see. Our new hero is Sylvanas, obviously. She's got Withering Fire, shoot the closest enemy for 25 damage, preferring hero, stores 5 charges. Pretty self-explanatory. Shadow Dagger deals 10 damage and additional 40 damage over 2 seconds to large unit. The effect spreads to nearby units. Basically, this is for camps, golems and stuff. Sylvanas is going to be a specialist, so I guess he has some extra tools to seeds and do mer camps fast. I like this. I mean, if she's able to jungle to kill Mercamp solo in the jungle, she's gonna be fun. Really fun to play. Alright, Haunting Wave. Send forth a wave of bounces dealing 30 damage to all targets. Reactivate to teleport to the bounce location. That's basically a dash. So you just wanna think of it as Tyrell's Q dodge. Where Tyrell would use Q on one way, the enemy team would fall for it, and just follow the Q, and then Tyrell would escape towards the other direction. I think that the same playstyle is gonna apply to this mechanic, and I really fancy such mechanics. They defined good players from great players. Her trade is Black Arrows. Uh, Basic attacks and abilities stun minions, mercenaries, and towers. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory, I guess. And now her heroic abilities. Possession is the one I'm probably not going for. It says force an enemy minion to fight for you. It gains 20% attack damage and health. So basically, turn around big pushes and turn around like if they get seed giants, you possess one of them and you basically negate the effect or something like that. Wailing arrow. Now that's interesting. Shoot an arrow that explodes for 200 damage. Excuse me. And silences enemies for 2.5 seconds. Can be reactivated to detonate the arrow early. So basically, you fire an arrow. Probably the range is gonna be global, I guess. Not sure. And it works like Falstad's boomerang. You reactivate it to detonate the silence. So I think I don't know if it's global, because I cannot understand from this text here if it's global or not. It's gonna be huge. If it has limited range, it depends on the range. All right, that's about Sylvanas. User interface. Significantly reduce the likelihood that players will receive the same battleground multiple times in a row when playing in matchmaking game modes. Yeah, basically, I heard the devs, I heard Trixler saying that like the frequency of certain maps, it was happening like for no reason. Like I dislike Guardian of Terror. I don't like its design, but getting it 2 or 3 times in a row, it made me so mad and nervous. And yeah, I guess they fixed that. They addressed it and they fixed that. That's pretty good of them. So requesting to join a party through a party member who's not the leader will now send a notification to that player. Additionally, the party leader will see which party member a join request was made. That's a quality of life change. It's nothing much. So now we got the progression system here. That's for heroes. Uh, from now on, you can just level up from 10 to 20. I guess people ask for that. I don't really find the use of it. Um, I mean, leveling up a hero to 20. I'd rather level up every hero to 10 so I get the hang of every single hero and role in the game than doing that. But I guess people ask for it, so I'll pass. It's not my immediate goal to level heroes to 20. I'll just join the club at some point myself. Now that's the interesting part. Player progression. New rewards have been added. So if you're level 40, right, tomorrow morning, you're going to get a 7-day steam back at player level 10. That's for level 10. Now you get 2k gold at levels 20, 25, 30, 35 and 40. So if you're level 40, that's 10k right here. So that's a master skin, that's a hero, that's whatever you want. We get team league, I guess extra information, yeah, extra information right here. And players who had already reached or surpassed the level requirement for these rewards prior to today's patch will also receive them upon logging. Yeah. Uh, So basically, yeah, what I said, if you're level 40 already, you will automatically get these rewards, which is nice. Now we got Team League. The requirements are reach level 10, own 10 or more heroes, and create a team. There is a lot of stuff here regarding creating the team and whatnot. Players may participate in up to 3 teams at any given time. That's nice. It's nice having a limit, I guess. Roster. There is a roster bottom, a team owner, and basically you can invite up to 8 players to every team, which is alright. Invite drop down. A ranked team section has been added to the player profile, so you can basically view your teams that way, which is nice. We got for draft mode, we have team league matches will use the first come first serve version of draft mode rather than hero league's pre-derby draft mode. With first come first serve, players on each team are free to select heroes in any order when it's their team's turn. Oh, I like this. So that's basically how competitive works right now. Long story short, in competitive they tell the picks or they're using the tool called Stormcraft, and it doesn't matter the order, right? Because you're just gonna pick what you need, what you wanna pick, and then through the auto select, through the lobby, you're gonna assign the heroes to whoever wants to play them. Menu navigation. There is a lot of stuff here. I'd rather not read all these. Like there are a lot of updates regarding the menu, the home screen, the sub screen, the play screen. Like you should just read all these guys because or you might as well just check them tomorrow, I guess. Ranked play and draft mode. Draft mode notification. While tapped out of heroes of the store. Oh yeah, they basically that's another cool feature. God damn! Like when Blizzard listens to us, the changes are so drastic and so good. So you've experienced this. You're out tapped because you don't want to wait a 3-minute queue or whatever, and all of a sudden you just miss the queue, right? And that's because like nobody notified you that the queue popped. So what they implemented is you get a notification sound that the match is found, and if you're like last pick and you're alt tabbed again, you get another notification sound when it's your time to pick. So pretty good changes right here. Also for the rank points, you don't get this. They're saying right here that you do not get the same number, the same number of points, which is alright. I mean, let's say I have 3500 MMR and the guy I'm playing with has 2500. There's no way we should be getting the same amount of points, like obviously, right? I mean, there has to be some improvements to the systems, and I guess they did address that as well, and I like that. Oh, you can also check the ranks, rank changes, rank points, and during the previous match, which is nice. Alright, hero select. Click the currently selected hero 3D mode to bring up hero select. Alright. Some stuff here about the skins, the mounts, like some panels have been redesigned, updated, and whatnot. So we might want to check this out tomorrow. Art, we have a lot of new hero models. Various battleground assets have received additional optimization to help improve performance. So yeah, especially Sky, when temples spawn on Sky Temple, like even the best PCs were struggling. So I guess they improved the performance there, which is nice. The final tutorial battleground has received visual polish. Alright, legendary skins. Alright, they're saying stuff about Mechataster here, which is like the Mechataster skin is so damn good, dude. It's so damn good. Alright, stuff about the skins. We have some brand new skins and some updates as well. Some stuff about heroes as well. Like all these is about art, right? So a lot of hero and skins visual updates right here. Portraits as well. They finally fixed Sonya's portrait. Updated art. Oh, they probably. Alright, the area of effect radiuses. I would like to change the metamorphosis on Illidan to match his skin, but I don't know if they did that now. Mounts, policies, menu screens, alright stuff. So some changes here. Price changes. Numbarak, real money and gold price have been reduced. Oh, holy sh! Alright, I guess I'm buying a Numbarak in the end. 4k gold, alright. That's cheap as fuck. Unless that's 7k gold and they failed. A master skin has been added for Sylvanas. Legendary skins, stuff about Mechataster again. Flying Monkey Brightwing skin has received an entirely new monkey themed voiceover set. Alright, I wanna see that. Design and gameplay. I guess that's, yeah, you can only figure this out in game. The in-game leveling curve has been adjusted slightly to slow down the first 10 team levels through the amount of XP required to release level 10. Alright, so basically we hit level 10 a bit slower right now, which is alright, I guess. I don't quite understand this. Basically to prevent the snowball. We're just doing this to prevent the snowball. The thing is, if your team is level 10 and our team is level 8, now it's gonna take even longer to reach them. I don't know. I guess trial and error on this one. Alright, battlegrounds now. Battleground changes. The balloon chest status bars are now segmented, and each segment represents where the balloon will spawn. Alright, that's a nice quality of life change. Player controlled Dragonets are now more resistant to disable effect. That's pretty good. That's a pretty fine change for Dragonsire. Basically, Dragonsire was especially early on in the game, was the least what's it called, efficient and powerful powerful objective to fight for. Because if the enemy team has like multiple stuns or roots and stuff like that, they could just keep the CC chain up and make it useless. So I guess they are adding something like Relentless on Dragonites, which is nice. Now this is big right here about Haunted Mines, and I think I agree for the most part. Now, Grave Golem health and damage will no longer scale after either of the following conditions have been met. The Haunted Mines have been open for at least 4 minutes, 60 skulls have been collected. This change has been made in order to prevent situation in which a team would leave a single skull in the Haunted Mines in order to gain more golem power. So you might not um, you might not have experienced that, but certain teams, especially in pre-made fives, would leave like one skull out and let the like they would have a huge ass golem, like 90% golem. They would just leave one skull in the mines to make their golem stronger over time. So they do not only affect that, but they also affect the golem. They basically nerf the golems past 60 skulls. Um, on top of that, they say that the power difference between lane golems has been reduced. So if you go for a 70-30 golem, you're not screwed anymore. At least that's what they want to achieve with the changes. Not quite sure um, if they achieved it or and what the nerfs are, because I don't see any numbers right here, but I don't know. I guess trial and error here as well. High skull count lane golem health has been slightly reduced. The first round of lane golems had their health reduced, so basically you get to play the map a bit longer either way. Even if they get a 90% or a 90% skull golem, you get to play more because the first golem has less HP, and high skull count lane golems HP has been reduced. Now I don't like this text because it says high skull count lane golem. Like, what does that mean? Like, what's high skull count lane golem? Like, high above what? If it's 70, I dig it. But if the definition of high is like 85 and more or 80 and more, that's not gonna help that much. We could use some clarification on this one, Blizzard. Right. Garden of Terror player control guardians are now more resistant to disable effects. Basically the same with the DKs. Although I don't think Garden of Terror needed that because you have your E, which is a sprint that you can use. So I don't know if that was needed, but I guess it just implemented it anyway. Overgrowth health increased by 25%. Now receives additional health bonuses past the 15-minute mark. Now deals more damage to minions and mercenaries. Oh, they changed that. 70 plus 7 per minute damage each tick instead of 20% of their maximum health. Alright, I like this. I like this a lot. So basically, you can no longer use your W on a huge wave and just leave it there and clear the whole wave there. I like this a lot because you could be building up a huge wave in order for the enemy team to respond and be able to defend their terror that way. But the enemy terror would just use a W on the wave and be done with it. So I like this. I like this a lot. I also like the buffs on the W overall. I think the overgrowth was dying too quickly. The pot was dying too quickly. Sky Temple damage reduced by 10%. That's alright. Less snowball. Mercenaries initial and scaling XP has been reworked. Mercenary camp tooltips now indicate which camps can be bribed. Alright. Quality of change. Initial and scaling XP has been reworked. Again, we don't have any numbers for some reason. Structures: gate, tower, town hall, and wall health reduced by approximately 10%. Why? I don't think anybody ever whined because Gate Tower, Town Hall, and Wall Health had a lot of HP. I don't really get this. That means, like, with these Saints, they kind of force specialists like Zagara and Hammer and stuff like that to, I don't know. They might just wanna re-emerge specialists. I don't really get these Saints. Like, if you wanna reduce the health, you should reduce the XP, the experience they give as well. Because now certain heroes will have an obvious advantage through this sense. Alright, it's alright. So talents, new generic talent arcane power, activate to gain 400 mana and 50% ability power for 5 seconds, 60-second cooldown. Currently found only on Jaina. Uh, I can understand the 50% ability power for 5 seconds, but 400 mana, why? And what happens when these 5 seconds expire? Like, what happens to the 400 mana? Does it deplete? And if you had like 400 mana at that point, do you go back to 0 or something? Or I don't know. I like the 50% ability power though. It means that if you go for a cool a pretty good combo with your abilities, you can just decimate a whole team. I like this. Although Wintersmute and Bling are pretty good talents as well. I like this a lot. In case you go Ring of Frost. Blood for Blood has received a visual update. It should now be much easier to identify both the target and the caster. Alright. Healing Ward, that's a pretty nice nerf and the rework. It heals for the same amount, but it heals for less and for more seconds. So it used to heal 3% for 10 seconds, which is a total of 30%. Now it heals 2% of max health over 15 seconds. That's a nice change. It is a nerf, but it is an indirect nerf, I guess. Ice Blow will have the cooldown reduced. It now dims out affected hero status bars. That's alright. So you basically don't force your abilities on the ice block hero. Scouting drone, it got changed. I don't think scouting drone has a place in Heroes of the Storm right now. At least, I don't know. These are all nice buffs, but everyone that can probably get scouting drone at level 1 has a better choice. I don't know. It might work as a ward and might find some uses, but I don't know. I doubt it we're going to see it in solo queue at least, or in hero league. Right, this is the juicy part now, guys. This is heroes, so let me see if there's anything else. Right, let's talk about this first, and then I'm going back. I'm going to scroll up to the heroes. Alright, so bug fixes. Fixed an issue which could cause AI players to become unresponsive, and I have never experienced that. Resolved a bug that could cause players to have difficulty issuing movement commands to their heroes. I have never experienced that either. Alright, some art fixes, battleground fixes. Oh yeah, the core bug. Like the core is at 1%, and you're like, alright dude, I'm gonna shield it and null it, and we'll have one more chance. And nothing hits it, right? And that all of a sudden it just explodes, and it's like, I don't know, dude, Christopher Nolan, another movie. Visual effects. Visual effects for Stitches Valgas are now visible on Sky Temple bridges. Alright. The cooldown for Zagara Strip 2 more trades now appropriately reset by the clear cooldowns button in Try Me More. Alright. Heroes and talents. Let's see what's interesting here. Some stuff about Locust. We don't really care about that. Brightwing will no longer be incorrectly teleported back to base when casting her phase shift ability on a lost Viking, just as the Vikings enter the Longboard. Alright, that's nice. Also, that's quite nice. Diablo will now cast Lightning Breath in the direction of the cursor rather than the direction he's facing at the time of the cast. So you basically have a more responsive lightning breath now, which is pretty. This is pretty good. Like this is pretty good. A pretty fine change to Diablo, and I saw some buffs as well. So Diablo might actually go up to tier 2 to tier 1 right now. Alright, they fixed the hand, Illidan's hand. Whoever gets hand should just go back to Metamorphosis though. I mean, let's be real. Alright, reset on the Viking skills for Nova. Rainer's feet will no longer appear to slide when using basic attacks after this match. I don't know, these all seem like pretty fun stuff. I've never experienced this stuff though. Alright. Vile gas fix, I like this. Unresponsive stages, I like this fix. Like, have you ever experienced that, guys? You hook a bundling, as a girl's bundling, and you cannot move for like a split second or a second on stage. That's a nice fix. Tassadar Distortion Beam will now more appropriately track Chen and Love's Vikings. Okay, Tassadar's Overload talent applies its range increase. Alright. When you get second strike, yeah, I have experienced this one. You could basically use the overload. The first one, you could use it like you did have the range, the extra range on it, but the second one you just couldn't use it for some reason. Uh, the debuff effect for Duster Static Star Styling will no longer reveal clocked unit locations. Alright. Thrall's Earthquake will no longer instantly kill Zagara's bundlings. Alright. Tycho's Overkill ability will no longer attempt to continue tracking targets after they enter the Haunted Mines. Enemies affected by Tyrannus Hunter's marks are now probably revealed. Alright, I like this a lot. Like, have you ever seen this? A Tyrannus marks Zeratul, right? And he just blinks away and he disappears, which is like shit. What the hell just happened? Tyrannus True Shot aura will no longer benefit after heroes that are present in their team's Hall of Storms whilst he's dead. Alright. Alright. Zagar's Devouring Maw will no longer push heroes through the wall created by Sonya's. Alright, I like these changes. User interface. Bridges that cross over areas of water have been made more visible on the minimap. Correct an issue in the hero level 5. Okay, fix an issue. Alright. Let's go to the juicy stuff. Let's go to the heroes, guys. Everything else you'll just experience it in game. Now that's what we're talking about. So Abathur got some love. Some changes on his Toxic Nest on his W basically, and Venom Nest, more damage, and by picking up the Prolific Dispersal talent, it reduced the cooldown of it by 2 seconds. He also gets through the Vileness talent, the slow is increased from 40 to 50%, so his W gets a lot of love, which is nice. The monstrosity now persists until it's killed. Yeah, they basically you can basically now bring the monstrosity into team fights. They said they were going to buff its HP and its attack damage and stuff, but I don't see it here, so I don't know what happened to that change. His ultimate evolution though, cooldown reduced from 80 to 70, duration reduced from 30 to 20, clones now gain 20% ability power, 20% attack damage and 10% movement speed. The movement speed is fine, but I don't think there are that many heroes that can benefit from both ability power and basic attack damage. Alright, let's see which heroes can benefit from that. Falstead, obviously. Vala, sure. Jaina, sure. Nazebo probably could benefit from it. I cannot think of much more heroes actually. Yeah, basically those four. Alright, duration reduced from 30 to 20. I don't get this. Why would you reduce the cooldown If you reduce the duration on top of that, like this doesn't make any sense. It feels like, yeah, these changes negate each other basically. I don't know. I don't get this. I don't get this. I really don't. Whatever. Right, Asmodan, Taste for Blood now has a maximum damage cap of 500. Yeah, basically no more Asmogad, guys. Late game Asmogad. His Q has a cap now, a damage cap. Yeah, the ability was pretty toxic on its own before, so I don't know. That's a pretty nice change. And the thing is, you couldn't really do much about Asmodans. They would just stand behind their team, stand behind their gates, and just farm their Q all day. And then 15 minutes into the game, where not much have happened, he just uses a Q on your squishies, and they are unable to fight. Yes, there are counters obviously, but you don't have to. You don't need to make a comp for one specific hero. That's balance and consistency, and I'm glad they removed it. They put a cap on it actually. Diablo got some love. Cooldown reduced from 120 to 100 seconds. That's nice for Apocalypse. And that's what I read before. Diablo will now cast Lightning Breath in the direction of the cursor rather than the direction he's facing at the times of the cast. So this is pretty good again. His Lightning Breath is gonna be more responsive. I like this a lot. For ATC, Fury of the Storm talent replaced with Hardened Seal. I don't think anybody ever got Fury of the Storm on ATC though. And Hardened Seal, like ATC keeps getting some love, basically through nerfs on the other tanks, but I don't know, ETC is gonna be huge now with Hardened Seal. Although I do like Blink engagements a lot, but I don't know. Falstad, his basic attack damage got increased. His barrel got some love as well. Cooldown, 2 seconds reduction of the cooldown. He gets more speed now, like 50% more. Oh wow, that's that's big. That's big. Like, imagine that, right? An angry Uther is coming towards you, right? So you barrel roll his stun, and then you have uh, the extra movement speed to outrun his ult. Like this is pretty good. I like this change, and this is a nice effort to put Falstad back on the map. Falstad is not bad right now, but he's not at the Vala and Azibo Hammer standards. Flow Rider cooldown reduction increased from 35 to 40%. Alright, sure. Mighty Gust, they reduce the mana and they reduce the cooldown. So Mighty Gust gets some love as well. I think the biggest thing about Falstad is this one here. Barrel roll speed. This one here. On top of the cooldown reduction. Alright, Jaina got some love as well. So yeah, we might be seeing more Jaina on Hero League from now on. She got the Arcane Power talent, which we talked about earlier. Nexus Fury talent removed. I cannot think why they put Nexus Fury on Jaina. I really don't get it. Improved Ice Block. The cooldown got reduced. Same with the normal Ice Block. This is the Jaina specified talent. Now, Frostbite. The tilt effect will now apply to unstoppable units such as the Grave Golem, as well as structures. I like this a lot because as a JD you could not really help at the Golem, and you could not really help at sieging. So I like this. I like this a lot. You're now basically able to siege, which is nice. Uh, Frostbolt's damage got increased by a fair amount actually. That's nice. 15 per level. That's nice. Damage per wave increased from alright, more damage from W. Cone of Cold damage increased from alright. So basically all her basic abilities got a lot of love, I guess. More damage on Jaina. and she can now seeds and do more damage on the golem. So I like these changes. On top of the new talent that I'm excited um, to test. I think I like the changes on Jaina. Alright, Kerrigan. Ultralisk control now mirror Jaina's Water Elemental. Press R and click the turn to issue move command. Press R and click again to issue an attack command. Alright. So basically Ultralisk works much like Jaina's Elemental now. I think Kerrigan could use some more love actually. Kerrigan could definitely uh, use some extra love. I don't know, her late game, after they removed Rewind from her late game is pretty much non-existent, so I just, I love Kerrigan, but it's just unplayable in Hero League right now. Unless you have a duo queue and you go for a roam squad or whatever. Alright, so Lily, Healing Brew. She will no longer heal clones, which is nice. Same for the level 2 ult. Murky, more health regeneration. Oh, this talent though. The talent is called Living the Dream, and he's basically Murky is gonna live the dream. Grants 10% ability power and an additional 1% for every 5 seconds that Murky is alive. Up to a total of 25% ability power. Resets upon death. So basically, what this means is Murkies have to survive longer to benefit from this ability power if they wanna pick up this talent, which is a fine choice. So what else on Murky? Spawn egg. The egg no longer grants experience or counts as half of a normal hero death. That's alright. Cooldown reduced from 20 to 15 seconds. That's nice. More health on the egg, which is alright, I guess. I mean, if they find your egg, they're gonna kill it either way. So, Assault egg talent bonus to egg health reduced from 200 to. Alright, this is just to compensate for the buffs above, because then the egg could be unkillable by some heroes to kill it quickly. So that's alright. Slime's stacking damage now applies to unstoppable units. So basically the same thing that they used on Jaina. It now applies for Murky as well. On Grave Golem, for example. Casting time reduced by 75%. I like this as well. Like, higher in the ladder, people will just kill your W, like, instantly. So now, like, you have more. Wait, this is the casting time. Is this? I don't quite get this. If it's the time it could take Murky to put down the W, I guess that's a bug fix most likely. If it's the time it takes to explode, that's a really big change. Either way, Murky got some love this part. Nazeebo Gitbin no longer increases the duration of Voodoo Ritual. So basically, an overrated talent got nerfed. So people will now realize that Clairvoyance and Null are still in the game. Specialized toxic damage bonus got nerfed from 200 to 100%. That's a much needed nerf, I guess. Although Nazeebo had a lot of counters, I think that a late game Nazeebo, like in a 20 plus minute game, was a beast. Like, get a good ult off and finish the game off of that. Thoughts of Hugeness, bonus damage per hope increased from, alright, more damage from that. Some love on Gargantuan. More initial damage, less initial health. The AI has been improved, and it does no longer use the stomp ability automatically. You can just press R and use it on your own, which is nice. This is nice. And Raven Spirit, the spirit's area of effect radius has been reduced by 25%. Damage change from 25 to 30. So less radius of effect, but more damage. This might have been. We have to test this, but this might have been a pretty big nerf. All right. Rainer basic attack damage increased. Hammer less health. Sonya Z got changed. She can now use the following abilities: Shots of Fury and Ferocious Healing, and also Nerves of Steel, which was Stone Skin, and Ignore Pain, formerly Hardened Steel. So you can basically use a lot of your actives while whirlwinding. And the thing, this is actually pretty huge for Sonya. Why? Because you used to engage with your ult, do your combo, Q, W, etc., and then just go for the spin to win, right? And then you cannot use your active, and some of them were just so much important uh, for your survivability, such as Stone Skin and Hardened Steel, right? So this is big. This is big for Sonya. I like the love. As part of this change, Stone Skin and Hardened Steel have been renamed. All right, I like the renames though. I like the diversity in names and the whatnot. I like this. All right, Stitches. Uh, Less radius, his trait, less damage as well. Same on his talent. Slam, the pulverized talent got nerfed. Basically, he no longer stuns, and that's justified nerf, I'd say, because the cooldown on his slam was not even that big, so you could basically interrupt multiple ultis in a single team fight. It now reduces the cooldown on slam by 2 seconds and slows enemies hit by 75% for 1 second. So it is basically a slow now. So it's alright. Gorge, Hungry Stitches. Duration increased from 1 to 1.5 seconds. Now removes the movement speed slow from Gorge. So basically they buffed the level 2 Gorge, which is alright. Putrid Bile now increase movement speed by an additional 10% while Putrid Bile is active. So level 2 ult love for both of Stitch's ultis. Oh, that's Tassadar though. This force wall changes. I don't know. I will definitely get force wall at some points now, especially on maps like Sky Temple or Haunted Mines and stuff like that, where you can just um, split an entire team. I think force wall is gonna have a lot of effects right now. Cost reduced from 75 to 35 mana. That's alright. Now this is the huge part. Force wall now forms 50% faster. So there's the delay there used to be. It is no longer there. At least half of it. So there is so much room for plays with Force Wall right now. I like the Saints, and I will definitely. I'm playing Taster a lot, so I will definitely get around Force Wall now. The Lost Vikings. A Lost Viking specific version of the Fury of the Storm talent has been added at level 20. Every 5 seconds, the next basic attack will deal an additional 10 etc. damage to the target and 10 damage to all nearby minions and mercenaries. Alright. That's. Every Viking has a separate cooldown. Alright. I don't know much about the Vikings, but I guess that's a fun. It seems like a fun talent. I'm not really sure. They were going for longbow though. Level 2 longbow, so I don't know about that. They are nerfing the longbow though. Not by a lot, but they are nerfing it by a bit. Alright, Thrall. Frostwolf Resilience. Scaling heal increased from 23 per level to 30. Mana restoration reduced from 20 to 15 on the Mana Tide talent. Alright. That's a slight buff. Mana cost increased on his Q and scaling damage increased. That's a slight buff as well. Cost increased from 50 to 65 mana. Movement speed increased. Windseer talent moved from level 1 to 7. I think I like this. Because level 7 was quite empty. So now you can get Windseer there. And at level 1 you can grab Block and be a bit extra tanky. So I like this change. I think I like this change a lot. Now reduce Windseer cooldown by 4 seconds rather than 3. So yeah, this is a rearrangement of talents. I like this, I think. Alright, so basic overall Thrall got a bit buffed. If it's... I don't think his buffs justify him being played as the primarily melee assassin right now. I still think Illidan and Zeradol are good. I will see about it. So several Tychus generic talents have been renamed. Searing attacks got renamed to sizzling attacks, and Giant Killer to problem solver. So that's there for Tychus. I think Tychus is at the fine spot right now. Both his ults are viable. He's a pretty balanced overall hero, so I think he's at a pretty good spot. We got a lot of stuff about both Tyrande and Uther. So let's see. A significant number of Tyrande's talents have been rearranged. They removed Shroud, Purging Mar, Bolt of the Storm. Why would they remove Bolt of the Storm? I was actually picking Bolt of the Storm for Tyrande. On Tyrande. Nexus Frenzy added at level 20. Well, if they added Nexus Frenzy on Tyrande, they might as well just rename her to Assassin. Or recategorize her to Assassin. Focused attack added at level 4. Alright. Basic attack damage bonus on True Shot Aura. Oh! True Shot Aura moved from level 7 to level 16. That's huge. That takes away a lot of early game power from Tyrande. Yeah, that takes away a lot of power from early Tyrandes. We get more basic attack damage, but the attack speed bonus has been removed. So I guess... I don't know. I don't know about this. I think they should just nerf the attack speed bonus, not remove it completely. Definitely a nerf on Tyrande's True Shot Aura though. This changes here. Hunter's Mark. The talent got moved from level 16 to level 13. Heal amount increased from 2% to 2.5%. With Mark of Mending. I don't think anybody just ever got this. Like, she got... At that tier she has a lot of more interesting talents. But anyway, so... Light of a Loon. Cooldown increased from 6 to 8. Self-heal increased. Ally healing increased, so she heals more with a bigger cooldown. Overflowing Light talent moved from level 4 to level 13. And they just buffed her healing overall. Oh, this is nice. We might actually see some play now on this talent. Some more play actually. It used to heal more if the ally was at 90% or more HP. So now he can be at 50% or more and still get the full value of the talent. So this is nice. This is a direct buff. I like this. Sentinel. Pierce talent moved from level 1 to 4, and the power talent moved from level 4 to 1. So basically, they traded the talents there. Lunar's Flare radius increased by 20%, and Lunar Blaze talent moved from level 13 to 7. Radius increase removed. What? What does Lunar Blaze do now though? Just extra damage? Alright. Yeah, that's interesting, I guess. I have to see Tyrande's talent as a whole to give a general idea about Tyrande right now, but A lot of talent rearrangement, and it's alright, I guess. Alright, Uther. Uther has received a significant talent update as well. They removed burning. Oh, holy sh! Why would they remove sprint? Alright, they did remove burning rate, so no more passive damage from that. They removed sprint, which was, at least in my playstyle, that was a big part of my kit. Sprint was a big part of Uther's initiation. Now he basically needs to walk, or he needs someone to speed him up to engage. Block talent added, amplified healing added. Alright, basically to make him tankier, I guess. He got a new talent, Holy Fire, uh, just a dot to nearby enemies. Benediction activate to reduce the cost of the next ability cast by 50 mana and its cooldown by 10%. That's nice. So you can basically use it to go for a second stun or a second quick heal. Basically something like rewind, but for a single spell. So this talent seems interesting. And this is the tier where he had, no, this is not the tier where he had sprint, my bad. Hammer of the Lightbringer, mana restore per hit increase from 5 to 10. Alright, I don't think this talent is worthy. It's worth picking up on Hammer, but on Uther, but whatever. Eternal Devotion has been removed. Alright. And the functionality of his trait has been changed. Uther can no longer use his basic attack or his abilities while in the Eternal Devotion. What? Instead, Uther gains a new ability. Oh. Alright. So basically, bye bye old Uther. Hello nerfed Uther. So you can no longer do damage or use your basic abilities or your ult while in spirit form. You can only heal. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't really like it. Spirit form was unique for Uthers, and I don't know. I, I don't think it was that broken. They could just remove the Holy Devotion talent, I feel. Anyway, the new talent level 20. After Eternal Devotion ends, Uther will resurrect at the location of his spirit with 50% health. This effect has a 180% 180 second cooldown. So basic something like Resurgence. A bit changed. I don't know why would they add something like that in the game. These changes right here, they all seem like hit and miss changes. I don't know. They probably want to change something about his trait, but I don't think this is the way to do it. Either way, Holy Light get nerfed. Its range, Protected Weed talent got removed. Rich talent, it has more. It increased the range of Holy Light and Flash of Light by 40%. Alright. They moved the Blessed Summon talent. It changed the functionality as well. After casting Holy Light, the next basic attack heals nearby allied heroes for 30% of Holy Light's healing amount. So they're trying to force players to pick up Blessed Champion talent. I don't know if it's worth it though, at level 13 especially. You have so many good options there, I don't know. We'll see. Holy Sock talent moved from level 16 to 13, alright. In addition to its previous effects, Holy Sock now also reduces the cooldown of Holy Light by 4 seconds when it is used to deal damage. Alright. Length reduced by 16% on Holy Radiance. Alright, that's okay. Increase the length and width by Holy Radiance by 40%. I don't know. I don't think this was needed. Whatever. Just minor change just to reshuffle the talents, I guess. I don't know. Just to add some variety. A Hammer of Justice, the Dense Weightstone, and the Rebuke talents got removed. They were useless anyway. Feast of Justice moved from level 4 to 1. Okay. And there's a new talent, Burden of Guilt. After Hammer of Justice stun phase, the target's movement speed is slowed by 30% for 2 seconds. Alright. That seems interesting. Like if your team can follow up on that, that seems interesting and promising. Divine Seal, Bulwark of Talent Factional has changed. Uther no longer gains a Divine Seal when using this talent. Now increase Divine Seal duration by 2 seconds and reduces cooldown by 20 seconds. So the level 2 ult got changed. Yeah, Uther gaining a Divine Seal was useless on the old Uther. Now it could find some uses. Since you die now and you do not get to use your abilities and you do not get to do damage while in spirit form, it could have some uses. I guess they changed it anyway, so whatever. Divine Storm bonus to stun radius decrease from 100 to 50%. That was so much needed like 5 patches ago, but it's alright. They finally implemented it. Uther was like huge at level 20 with Divine Storm level 2 ult. It was the only option. It was like, I don't know, it was crazy. He could just do so many plays with it. I don't know. They should just the nerf is fine, but they should have nerfed it earlier on. Alright, Vala bad momentum got removed. The Hot Pursuit talent moved from level 13 to level 7, and Vala is no longer unstable while using Volt. So some nerfs. Bad momentum got removed. That means that the W build got directly nerfed. Um, the specific build using her W, and they just go for more. I guess Val is going to be playing with the auto attack build more right now. Um, and this one, I don't know why would they would do that to Vala. Yes, it does have that dust, but there are so many dusts in the game, and you can use them all to dodge abilities. So I don't know. I don't like this. She's also so squishy that I don't know. I don't really like this change. I don't think her Volt was OP. The range, the bug with the range could be OP, but they should just address the bug. Either way, Zeratul, singularity spikes, double bombs. The second bomb now deals 50% damage. That's fine. That's a fine change because at level 20 with rewind, Zeratul with a full combo of only W's, he could just burst a Jaina, and that was so damn toxic. I'm glad they did something about it. Avoid prison now dims out affected hero status bars. So again, same thing with Ice Blow. It is more noticeable now that you are affected by the Void Prison. That's basically to help like your teammates and whatnot. Alright, that's about it. That's the patch notes rundown. And with this, we conclude. And with this, we conclude the first stream from the Elysium gaming GameSpot.